Enough introduction, let's start learning some Node.js. In this video, I'm going to introduce variables. Now, before I say any more, let's open Sublime Text and open the terminal. I'm going to put Sublime Text over on the right. I'm going to put the terminal over on the left, and we are good to go. What I want you to do is, in Sublime, create a new file. You can go to File, New File, or use Command-N on the Mac, or the appropriate keyboard shortcut on Windows or Linux, whatever that might be. I'm going to save this file into Node Basics, and I'm going to call this file variables.js. Click Save, and we are good to go. Now, before I kick this off, on the left side, I want to navigate into my Node Basics folder. I'm going to do this all in one shot. By now, hopefully you're pretty comfortable navigating at least to the Node Basics folder. If I navigate anywhere else, I'll make sure to be very explicit, but for the Node Basics folder, it's pretty simple. cd desktop /node-basics. Hit enter, and just to make sure, I'm going to type ls, and you can see we have hello world.js and our new variables.js. Perfect. To get started, let's recreate our console.log hello world that we had in the previous video. I'm going to type console.log in parentheses and inside of quotes, hello world. I'm going to put a semicolon at the end, and we should by now know exactly what this line is going to do. It's going to print out hello world to the screen. Just to prove this, in the terminal, I want you to run node space variables and hit enter. You should see something like this, hello world. Now, a variable is a way to store a piece of information and use it multiple times. Go ahead and create a variable with me. I'm going to add a new line before console.log. I'm actually going to add a couple new lines. And on line 1, I'm going to type var, which is short for variable. It's usually pronounced var. So if I say create a new var, what I really mean is create a new variable. Now, after you type var, you want to type a space. Now we can name our variable, and I'm going to call mine hello. The next thing I want you to do is type another space and an equals sign, which is just to the left of your delete key. After the equals sign, we're going to type one more space, and in quotes, we're going to type hello world, exactly as it appears on line 3. Excellent. What you've done here is you've created a new variable. You created a new variable called hello, and you assigned it the value of hello world. Let's see how we can use variables. When you want to use a variable, all you have to do is type its name. In this case, we called our variable hello. So instead of typing out hello world in strings inside of the parentheses, we can simply reference the hello variable. Referencing a variable basically means, hey, I want to use the value in the variable called hello. Now, we should get the exact same result, right? We have a string, hello world. We assigned it to a variable hello, and then we console log that variable's value. Make sure you save your file, head over to your terminal, and I want you to run node space variables.js. There we go. Hello world prints to the screen. This is awesome because now we can reuse the same variable multiple times. on line 4, I can console log hello again. If I save the file and head over to the terminal, rerun node space variables.js, you can see I referenced the variable twice, and both times it returned the same value. This is fantastic. We can now store data, and we can reference it and use it multiple times. We can also update the value of a variable. I'm going to change hello world to say hello Andrew. Go ahead and use your name instead of Andrew. To update the value of an existing variable, all we have to do is reference the variable name. Now notice we don't have the var keyword in front of it. The var keyword creates a new variable. If you already have a variable and you simply want to update it, you don't have to use var. Next, we're going to use a space with the equal sign, followed by another space. Now we can assign any value we like. In this case, I want to create a new string, and I'm going to set it to hello Andrew. Make sure to put a semicolon at the end to terminate that line, and we are good to go. We'll talk a little bit more about why you want to use a semicolon later in the course. For now, just know it's important to put one at the end of your lines. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen here. First up, we create a variable. We set it to hello world. Next, we take that same hello variable and we update its value to be hello Andrew. Lastly, we print out hello variable twice. Make sure to save your file with Command S. Over in the terminal, I'm going to type in node space variables.js, and you can see hello Andrew prints to the screen twice. Very cool. All right. You now know how to create a new variable and update the value of an existing variable. One important thing to note is that the var keyword is actually a reserved keyword by JavaScript. There's a couple dozen of these, and what it means to be a reserved keyword is that it's used for the syntax of the language, like it is right here. Var specifies a new variable, so it can't be used in a variable name. Let's go ahead and change every recurrence of hello to var. So I'm going to update the var variable to hello world, and lastly, I'm going to print out var twice. If I save the file, head over to the terminal and run node variables.js again, you can see we get a ton of errors. The most important part to understand is that it says unexpected token var. Var is a reserved keyword. It's only expected in certain places, and right after another var keyword is not one of them. I'll tell you when something is a reserved keyword. All that means is if you're going to create a variable, don't create a variable called that keyword. I could have one called var2, and that would be totally fine, but var alone is reserved. All right, time for an exercise. I'm going to delete everything in my file and click Save. What I want you to do is create a new variable called name, set it to your name, and then console.log it to the screen by referencing that variable. Take a moment to create your new variable and log it out to the screen. Make sure to run it from the terminal first, and when you're done, click play. All right, hopefully you were able to get that one done. Here's how I would have done it. First up, I need to use the var keyword to create a new variable. I'm going to call my variable name, so I'm going to type in name. Up next, I want to set the value of that variable, so I'm going to type space equals space, and then in strings, I'm going to set mine to Andrew. Put a semicolon at the end, and now we can console.log it. Console.log, open and close your parentheses, and simply type the variable name to use it. In this case, all I do is type name, I put a semicolon at the end, save the file, and we're ready to run it. Now over in the terminal, I can rerun node variables, and hopefully I see Andrew. I'm going to do that right now, node space variables.js, and you can see Andrew prints to the screen. Very cool. Hopefully you were able to get that done without too much trouble. There's going to be a ton of these small little projects in every video, and it's really important that you do them. By writing the code yourself and debugging it in the terminal, you're going to learn a lot more about the topic than if I just tell you and you only watch the video. If you want to be successful and write software in Node, it is very important that you do these projects. I'll see you next time.